All right, hello everybody. Welcome back to the RationalInvestor.co's daily brief. Another crazy day in crypto. Better make sure the microphone's all connected here. And it looks like we are live on YouTube. So YouTubers, feel free to chime in. I apologize if there's no more room at the kids. This is the kids table. You guys are the adults here, the grown-ups table over there at YouTube. We're just the crazy kids over here. Okay, a couple things I wanted to mention just to get going. One gentleman here kind of, actually, look, he's even talking to me right now. But one gentleman here had posted a chart, and what I found interesting is, don't feel as though because you're maybe you haven't done the school program, maybe you're relatively new to TRI, don't feel like your ideas are not valuable. And this gentleman here sent me a chart and said, I'm really interested in this BTG. And I was like, oh, it's actually a pretty darn good idea. So if anything, we have to be a little bit careful here. I have to. And some of our veterans, please just remember that a lot of new people here, they're a little bit overwhelmed by our crazy language and, banging out doubles and all that kind of stuff and trading away and making lots of money. And new people, please hear me now and believe me later, whatever Hans and Franz used to say. Your ideas are valuable. You can PM me. I think there's a lot of excellent analysis in here. People in the lounge would love to see this kind of stuff. So don't feel like your input, your contributions aren't valuable. I thought this was an excellent idea. And really the key here is, where do we go, once we have an idea that we're sort of mulling around? I really do like the idea of trying to build sort of predetermined, preset rules that are going to sort of force you to act when you see these criteria all met. And then you want to try and, if you do want to put some money to work, you want to try and keep that relative dollar size, the percentage size of whatever risk it is you're taking in the market. You want to just keep that in check, right? You want to keep it reasonable. Don't take, don't bite off more than you can chew kind of thing. And let's do it. It's quiz time. Who can remember what is our number one job we are supposed to do here if we are wanting to trade for a living? What's our absolute number one job? That's right, Bill nailed it right off the top of the head. Your number one job is to make sure that you can come back tomorrow. No matter what happens, shit hits the fan, all hell breaks loose. Your number one job is to make sure that you can come back and play the game again tomorrow. So that's speaking all about risk management. And this gentleman was like, well, is this nibble worthy? The great part about the whole sort of nibble concept is that if that nibble idea goes to zero, you can come back and play the game again tomorrow. That's the whole point of it. If I went and threw like half of my stake or mortgaged my house or something and took out a loan on a credit card and that goes to zero, oh boy, am I in trouble. So interestingly enough, ironically enough, the weird part about it is that you could technically justify a nanny nibble up here. Well, if it goes to zero, it's not the end of the world. That's, if anything, a function of that sort of little old lady risk management sort of concept. The question about where you buy something is always, is it realistic for me to actually be able to realize a double, a triple, a quadruple? And often when you chase markets and you buy up markets, it's actually extremely difficult to double, triple, quadruple your money. And what I really like about this nanny nibbles approach that we've sort of conveyed through the Coinigy shows and through the site and through all that kind of conversation is if you can just force yourself to be hunting around lows rather than highs, and it simply means that When the public isn't interested in this stuff, that's when you are interested. And when the public is interested in this stuff, that's actually when you're selling. If you can force yourself to do that and then couple that with that Nanny Nibbles, little old lady approach to risk management, you got yourself a fucking winning formula, man. And really, the question really here becomes, can you have the patience and discipline to follow the plan? Sometimes it just means you actually buy something, you know, especially over the past few months. And I think this is probably okay to use. You know, I'm not necessarily extolling this trade in particular, but all through October, November, December, and it's funny because I sit in bed and I sort of remember the daily briefs that I've done in the past, thinking about, you know, how I can do this better for you guys. And I distinctly remember back in like the fall saying, where's our little page? Saying, holy crap, like, and let's see if we can go, maybe we can do this. Does it have the dates on here? All right. Yeah, this is cool. I didn't even know we could do this before. So back in like, let's see how, oh, that's as far as I can go. Go any further? No, that's it. Anyway, so Ciorda let me go back even into like sort of early December. We were doing buying. It's a mix of buying and selling. But you have to understand now, with the market just going straight up here, all I'm doing is selling. Right? And it's actually very difficult for me to find half decent ideas to actually put some money to work right now. It's gonna require patience and discipline and drawing your levels, reload zones, and actually having to being a bit patient right now. I think that's you know, if anything, the way I'm looking at this is I'm still in farming profits mode right now versus buying mode again. Okay, I'm not quite sure where I wanted to go with all that, but this gentleman just basically posted a chart asking me, well, Brian, I'm not in the school, but is this a half decent idea? And I think you're doing, number one, Nanny Nibbles, just force yourself to buy against the bottom of the end of the range. I think you could very easily double, triple, quadruple your money here. If you go and buy these highs, that gets difficult. So from that perspective, awesome. And then also, too, I noticed that he's trying to identify divergences here. You can see how there is this W in MACD that's trying to form as well. Like, I don't know, I guess this is OBV. Nice bottom here at OBV. You can definitely see money flowing into this thing versus out. And it would be interesting. I guess this is the reload zone of this particular range right there. And you can see it's just sitting right in that range right there. So frankly speaking, I think this is a perfectly fine idea. And in fact, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, I even did up the chart myself right here. So this is how I would look at it. And I suppose we could probably also go boobity. Oh, actually, I guess the counter trend rally was all the way up to there, wasn't it? Up there. To there. Yeah. What a surprise. This is what we like to call the reload zone within a reload zone. And I would say, so remember how that that airplane line goes? The green zone is for immediate loading and unloading of passengers. Now, how does that go? You know, at the beginning of airplane, the at the airport, you know, the audio, they have the male and female. So the point here is that trade location wise, I mean, you literally can't get a better trade location. And when I look at my internals, there's really nice looking W in OBV. Might even get a nice little W in Willie. I don't think we have enough data to work with yet, though. So I can understand off the daily. Hasn't quite formed out yet, but frankly speaking, I don't think there's anything wrong with that idea whatsoever. I could see, you know, maybe a bit more exploration down into this tail. If you're going to be like a risk taker, you know, not little old lady, take a little bit more risk on the trade. I thought this was really cool how the market came right down. And what do you think the odds are that this pivot reversal was off of Ian's 88.6? I bet it was. I don't know, like a 4 hour. And I don't know, I'm doing kind of this show in a weird sort of way. Sorry, guys, but I thought this was a really interesting request by this gentleman, and I'm just having fun. 88.6, there we go. Yeah, so you can see right up against these lows, right? Nice tail right in there, and look at that. Doink, doink, see you later. So, for the traders in the community, look at this cute little bottom right here. Willie Stupid, nice rising volume bars. And look at this cute little inside candle right here. I mean, seriously, guys, if you, for those people that are coming to the site, like, okay, I appreciate Nanny Nibbles. I appreciate, banging out doubles, but I'm here to trade and kick some serious ass, leverage, whatever. Can you guys see this trade set up off of the 4 hour here? This is actually a really good example. And we often say that, how does it go? If you can find 3 good reasons for a trade, odds are you can probably find 4, 5, 6, and 7. So when I just eyeball this, Ian's 88.6, can you see how it's below value here? There's another reason. Wicks and tails like to be eaten. You can see the original candle body lows. This is really the bottom of the market, and they left this funny little tail here. Wicks and tails like to be eaten, so that's like an awesome little trade location, especially against all of these lows. I really wouldn't even be surprised if we drill down on this chart, and you probably find some gaps in here that'll probably need filling in. And what do you think the odds are? This low, and this low, there's a divergence on the momentum. I bet there is. So we've got this big panic low here. This low here is higher than this low, but this low is lower. Divergence. And this low is lower than this low, is lower than this low, but these lows are higher than this low and higher than this low. Can you see that divergence, guys? How about you guys on YouTube? JD, can you see this divergence? And really, well, Brad, I want to make money from trading. Quit fucking around with my time. I mean, this is what you have to learn. Looks like we are in third wave. Okay. Are you a big Elliott waver? Anyway, so the point here is this is actually what we like to call double divergence. I love double Ds. They're so awesome. So we've got this one working here, but we also have this one working here. We get a nice little breakout there. So really, any kind of reason to justify hunting longs through here, I'm perfectly happy. And of course, so now we've got trade location, higher time frame RLZ. We've got trade location, lower time frame RLZ. We've got the divergences in place. You had Willie Nice and Stupid here. You had a really sexy little inside bar there. And now, traders got to trade. This is just sick right here. If you were following this on a very short-term basis, right? I love hunting that reversal bar there and just risking the new lows. Right there. And 2 to 1 is right there. And interestingly enough, I wouldn't be surprised. I bet we're going to nice little wick up here that needs to be eaten. And there's the top of value. You can see that Willie isn't even stupid yet. And we're trying to put in another W here on the MACD. And of course, OBV, still very happy. No signs of a volume top here yet. Got a bit of a top that's working here. So if we do start actually rolling over here, we might be a bit concerned. But for the time being, everything's tickety-boo. And you can basically see this trade's just working away here. Nanny Nibbles, I don't really have a problem with you going and nibbling down in here. Perfectly fine by me. Higher time frame, higher leverage setup traders. I love the idea of just simply trading this candle inside bar reversal and risking to new lows. You could even, if you want to, just even risk this 2-bar pattern off of the 4 hours. But I love the idea of hunting, coming in here, especially against these candle tails and just risking the new lows. I think that's a sick-ass trade. I wouldn't be surprised, like we said, there was that big wick, so I wouldn't be surprised. We're probably going to run into a bit of resistance up in here. For me right now, because I would like to go and buy some of this, and I thought this was kind of handy for you, is I've basically apologize for all the crazy colors. But I've gone and drawn another reload zone here, and guess where Brian's got his bids working? Right down in here. So I'm going to go and add some more here at about sort of this one, let's call it 0.01425, somewhere in there, 0.01423. We can say bids working 0.01423. Is that what I said? Something like that. 0.1424. Let's be generous. 0.143. So I will let that simmer. See if we can get lucky. I already do have a bunch of this on the books, so it's not like if this thing takes off, I'm going to miss the boat. If anything, probably this, I don't know about BCC, you know. That Roger Ver guy is politically not making a lot of friends in the world. I don't know whether BCG really suffers from Mr. Ver's stuff. But I do really like, you know, names like, I've been telling you guys, where can we show you this? Over here. Can you guys kind of see the similarity? You know, there's BTG and how it's acting. Down here like this. Not like that. So kind of this sort of down at the bottom end of the range kind of idea. And remember, I was telling you guys that I went and bought some of this ETC. Same kind of behavior. Can you kind of see the similarities here? And what's interesting is I went and bought some just off the breakout level. I got a bid working down here, and the bastards won't even give me a fill down here. Jerks. So, but do you see the similarity? Does this make sense? Yeah, Christian, that was your chart, wasn't it? Isn't that your chart? I think it is. BCG is friendly. I like that, Benjamin. Oh, that's great. Yeah, maybe, Shane. Maybe. Yeah, we get so many damn bids. But can you see the similarities? Do you see these tails right in here? Right? Hopefully you see the similarities. So, you know, interestingly enough, and there are some names out there that oh, and everybody, we're going to have a new ism on the site, and it goes something like this. If you think that you've gotten to the point where you're a player, we're officially going to call you Any Big now. Right, Any? So you could always you can gauge your performance if you have the Any Big tag on your name. I love that. What's GCG? FNAPETHEONE. I have no idea how to pronounce that. Shane, you can't be on both. That's cheating. Shane's playing both sides of the fence here. You're either in the Hangout or you're on YouTube, but you can't be both. All right, I'm wasting everybody's time here having fun. Sorry. Let's get back to work. Quit your antics. You know, Julian, he gets so angry at me when he sees me having fun here. All right. No, I know Julian's going to watch that later. He's going to get all angry at me. Another one that I thought that was interesting is this New Bits. Somebody else posted this idea. And we were talking, I think maybe about a week ago or so. But this is another name that I think is very buyable down here. What do you think? Is there potentially some money to be made in here? You can clearly see something's going on big time on this thing. I don't know what, but you can clearly see somebody is accumulating massive position. We went and bought a little bit just based off of the fact that, this thing was so down. And if I did reload zones, I was more than happy to just start nibbling away in this green box. I think if I'm not mistaken, Thomas, didn't you have some bids down in here? Yeah. So, the moving average isn't really relevant here for the volume. But, we had some people in the lounge and in the community expressing some interest in this, saying, this one's kind of at the bottom of its range. What do you think? And frankly speaking, there's no guarantees in this business. I think you all understand that. You are all adults. I think trade location-wise, this thing is definitely down at the bottom end of its range. There's no doubt about that. What's really interesting is you notice that this current price action, does everybody see the POC here? This is basically where everyone is long this name. Isn't that interesting? It's not up here. It's not up here. It's not up here. Look at the profile. Everybody is long this name from this level. And we often see, guys, like if any of these nutso coins, and I was talking about this on the site just earlier today. Now this fucking thing's going to take off here. It's not going to come back now. We've doomed it. But what was that coin that we were looking at earlier today? And it was just like, it was straight up and it was like, geez, there's no way you can touch that. Which one was that? Does anybody remember what that was? Fudge, I forgot. Anyway, remember I've shown you guys in the past. Where was it? And there's tons of them. So, we just grab anyone here. We'll just, we can show you here. And you guys look at this and go, oh, shit, don't show me this, Brian. But you guys tell me, where on average are people long this Bitcoin? This is off Tether. Can everybody see that basically everyone's long this thing at $4,000? XRP, that's probably a good one. Yeah, that's even better. Oops. Got to type in the symbol correctly. Where the hell did we look at this thing? Was it on BitterX? I don't know. We were having a lot of fun looking at it somewhere. Yeah, I think it's that one. Yeah, there we go. So here's the kick in the pants. Even with all the, actually here, look at this. This is perfect. All right, so you see the asset going zooming up here. But you have to understand when you see a profile that looks like this, what this is really saying is everybody's long down here, and guess who's buying up here, right? There's just not that much interest. And especially if we just look at the actual initial rally, it's almost embarrassing. Look at that. There's not that much buying interest here. So if you see a profile that looks like this, you got to expect the market's going to have to come back down to where everyone is long at some point, and whoop, you can see right back down to value high, right? And what's interesting is the process of that, it actually changes the distribution so that by time the market does work down there, did you see how the POC shifted up there? Does that make sense? Yeah, well, that's a fundamental nonsense, right? So point of the matter here is here we are back up top, right? And if we look at just even this distribution of this volume, you tell me, where is the street long? It's pretty obvious, right down here. Does that make sense? What do you think, Jordan? Ooh, there's that guy, Kurt. Kurt was really talkative the other day. Does it make sense that everybody on the street is long from down here?
Yes. Yeah,
cool.
That does make sense.
I know, and it's scary, right? Because you can kind of see the head and shoulders.
Can Coinage, can you get that chart on the right? I haven't figured that out.
No.
Okay.
fact, probably if you watched all those old Coinigy videos, show after show after show, I would ask them, I would plead with them, I would beg them, and they just said, "Fuck you, Brian."
What is it called though? On Trading View,
This is called volume profile.
volume profile. Okay.
Yeah, and it's a critical component to the way we look.
No, I love it, especially after you showed it today. It makes a lot more sense and how to use it better, isn't it?
Well, you can always, geez, man, I released the hounds, letting Kurt come off mute there, right? Maybe that.
I know.
That's
sorry, man. I mute myself here.
I'm just playing with you. I'm just playing with you. But if you pop on over to the library, I think we have a couple really nice. What the hell is it? Library. I think we have a couple nice videos that you can watch. Volume indicators. Yeah, so you can watch this volume profile tutorial. So that might help you, and of course it is a module.
That one yesterday actually, but then I was trying to figure out how to make my screen look the same, and I couldn't do it.
Yeah, well, if you're trying to do it on Coinigy, you'll probably be spending quite a while and not making much progress.
I won't hold my breath.
Okay, so let's keep moving on. The point of the matter here is, profile-wise, there was something. Oh, yeah. We were looking at names that were actually trading at the POC. And it's kind of interesting. Do you see the difference now in this story? And what we're probably going to find is this thing will launch itself higher up into sort of this thin profile. And then guess who's buying up top? Hopefully you guys see the repetitive nature in this. So, on balance, is that a name that we can be looking at? I think so. You're basically buying where the street is long. That's good. If you want to wait for this W to actually confirm, it can't hurt. Can you see? Let's ask somebody else. And I appreciate your participation, Kurt. And hopefully you're getting good value from the site. So rock on. Keep on rocking. Let's try Chris. Looking through the monkey, looking through the prison cell bars. That kind of sucks. Hope happy monkey, maybe. What do you think, Chris? Can you see that W trying to form there? Yes. All right. So you could wait for the W to come in. Hopefully it makes sense that, guys who are trying to pick bottoms and tops and stuff, they love to use these reload zones. And if this is a W, I think that for new people to trading, it's sometimes psychologically difficult to go in and pull the trigger without a bunch of supporting reasons to justify you risking your money. But for those that are a little more advanced, I can completely understand why, and this is why we build this thing called the reload zone tool. It just sort of keeps you honest. As well, you can see the dip below value. Hogue loves this kind of trade, right? Trying to buy below value, looking for an exploration back above value. And you could argue that's what this one candle was all right there, all in one pretty package. In fact, I wouldn't even be surprised if a guy like Thomas was in here buying and then on this pop was actually selling at the same time. So, and really, as we had sort of talked about with the, were you? I've been made. Well, I wouldn't be surprised, and you can fess up if you want, but it wouldn't shock me one bit if you were banging away through here. That wouldn't surprise me at all. But if Thomas wants to let us know, great, fine. If not, it's his prerogative. I could see a bunch of kind of cool stuff that we teach in our education programs coming into play here. I'm not going to take the time to square up the chart because it's such a fucking pain in the ass. But we actually have a really cool actually, it looks like they've changed this now. So maybe this is different. We're going to have to figure out how they've done this again. There's one angle in particular that traders love to use to time their trades called the 8-to-1 angle. And I got a funny feeling that came into play here. And if we're really lucky, maybe TradingView has fixed this. Oh my goodness, look at that, eh? So anybody who where's Wayne? Wayne and Keith and Boba. Wayne, do you see this? Do you see that? Oh, you bastard. So, I mean, I don't know whether, yeah, so Joshua, we do Gann square and Gann angles in the level 2 program. But, you know, here's just a great example. Below reload zone, below value. You even got Ian's level coming into play here. You got a cute little inside bar reversal right off an 8-to-1 angle level. I think it makes sense why this thing turned where it did here. And of course, you know, our whole thesis. Keep in mind, if you're not familiar with this thing, this is supposed to be like an SBD. I think, which one is it? Is it BRX or BRK? One of those two is supposed to be sort of like a neutral coin. Mind you, it's not doing a very good job of it. Gold to a certain degree is supposed to be like an anti one. So this coin, they really wanted, if I understand the story correctly, and don't get me wrong, you know, a lot of times I don't know what the hell's going on with these things. This coin, theoretically, its sort of mantra, its purpose was to be sort of Bitcoin neutral. So it was supposed to maintain a certain level of value. If Bitcoin goes up in price, this thing goes down. If Bitcoin goes down in price, this thing goes up. So given all of our talk about CME, buy the rumor, sell the news, fear cycle apex, big fat $20,000 peak in Bitcoin, does it make sense that if indeed that is the top, well, this thing's probably going to bottom? Does that make sense? It should. This is pretty straightforward, logical stuff. And again, you know, us as traders, I mean, regardless of whether you want to hedge or not, we have to kind of look at this and go, you know, I appreciate that nobody in the public has any interest in this whatsoever. And if anything, that's perfect for us. Maybe we should be paying attention here. Do you trade this thing, you know, like setups and stuff? I don't think so. It's extremely volatile. These anti-Bitcoin proxies are incredibly manipulated. Incredibly manipulated, guys. So if you are going to play in this space, I don't think leverage or margin trading is smart here. But have some fun. I mean, I can clearly see at some point this thing is going to bounce up into here. And the funny thing is it's probably going to be one of these insane-o nutso candles that they love to do here. So you got to have your open orders ready to liquidate at your levels and just play from a position of strength. I think somebody else mentioned that this morning. I thought that was an excellent comment. So there you go. Merry Christmas. There's still lots of stuff popping here. It feels like the market's very rotational right now to me. Probably not a bad idea we check in on our January barometer. Stock market's still fucking going straight up here. Wow, the bonds are just getting hammered. So we don't have to worry about yield curve inversion. What we may actually have to be concerned about is the stock market's going to have to take a pause here if the bond market really starts cranking down in earnest. Looks like, I don't know whether we had inventory data or whether it's politically motivated. I haven't really been looking at the rags. I've been so wrapped up in crypto here. But it sure looks to me like oil is going to push higher here through the year, and that would explain why interest rates are cranking up here. So it sucks. Oh, geez, I kind of got used to gas prices topping out a bit there, but it looks like we have to get ready for more inflationary push. Remember we talked about this a while ago. You know, here we are at 60 some odd dollars a barrel for crude. If this thing jumps up to say $75, that's going to be like even from here. $12, $13 increase, which is going to be interpreted as 20% double-digit runaway inflation. When in reality, that's not what's going on. But I could very easily see that's how the media is going to spin it, and it makes sense why the bonds are shitting their pants here. And, you know, given the fact that the stocks are continuing higher, you know, what'll end up happening, you can see, because this is Swiss cheese, there's so many gaps in here, and this big old gap here. There'll be ebb and flow and back and forth, but I think the most important thing is we got to listen to the message. And if anything, guys, I hate to say it. Well, I don't hate to say it. We're all going to get fucking rich here if you play your cards right. This should be music to you crypto enthusiasts' ears. The economy is growing. I can feel it. Did you guys see the and I have to be damn careful here now, just because I hate playing these stupid Twitter politically correct battles. But I don't know whether you guys are seeing it or not, but the public's coming in here. I tweeted out this stupid, look at this bullshit, eh? Fuck me. Here it comes. Wayne, this is what you wanted, right? Now, you know, my reply, because people were basically, look at this. My reply to this was, okay, fine. You know, well, where's, I don't even know if oh God. All of my Twitter people, of course, are just laughing at me, right? But what I just said is, oh, fuck, here we go again. Look there's no way I'm going to get sucked into this bimbo bullshit. I don't even give a shit. But I am going to tell you one thing. I'm going to be more than happy to take these people's money, and I am going to actually embarrass them with the way that I spend their money. Going to do it all 100% legally, all PMA for the win. In fact, I might even put like I'll contribute some of the profits that I make off of these people. I'll create like a let's educate the bimbos fund or something like that. Yeah, a bit like a bimbo awareness fund or something like that, right? But oh Jesus, Wayne, you're gonna get what you wanted here. And it makes me sick because a lot of this sort of professionalism and stuff of the market, it's going to go right out the window. And it sucks because what it means is at the end of all this, right, we should all be millionaires. And frankly speaking, it wouldn't surprise me if there's going to be a few of us here that might actually be billionaires at the end of this. But you know, these people here, they're going to get hurt really badly. And it's a shame, but that's the way capitalism goes. I thought it also, too, I pointed out, I thought this was a really cute tweet. Finally, Bitcoin's grown up. So we actually, everybody who has just done the level 2 program, I expect all of you guys, in fact, your assignment, let's make it an assignment for all level 3ers. I want you to, for the first class of level 3, I want us to have a group discussion about the commitments of traders and what they're telling us. Yeah, but you know, I know if you really want to tout, if you really want to toot your own horn, that wasn't the purpose of this. The whole purpose of this, and what really bugs me about this is everybody's so concerned about this big sort of N number. The most important thing for me is actually this number right here. And yet nobody talks about this. This to me is the most important number out of all of this. But everybody talks about this number here. So you know, it's a fun post, and I did an update when we hit 500 Gs. And I suppose we'll do it exactly what I really want to do. Believe it or not, Wayne, what I really want to do. And, you know, unfortunately, Coinigy, I just don't understand it, but their API isn't working very well right now. So when I go on to, and it was this API that we were using to report the balances, you know, and even now, right, I've got Bittrex here. It says that the account's worth 50 BTC, but we go down to like ZCL, and I know for certain Where is it? ZCL. I know for certain I don't have 11.7 of this, and I don't know how to fix this. No. So because of this, the page that we were reporting to you guys is inaccurate. And it sucks because I want to show you guys their portfolio. So what I have had to do is I've just been manually keeping track of everything, and it's a fucking pain in the ass every day to do this. But anyway, today's report, sitting with Bitcoin at 15 G's a Bitcoin, we're sitting at 741 right now. That's not so bad, eh? As soon as that hits 1 million, I quit. So all of you guys are like, what? Oh, go down, go down, go down. But isn't that cool to start that from $500? I mean, isn't that crazy? That's fucking nuts, eh? $500. And there's no reason all of you can't do exactly the same. No reason at all. When is the 3-year anniversary? I don't know. When did we start this? We started in September 2014. So we're a little over 3 years now. Well, the cool part about this, what I really like about what I'm seeing here is if we go back to like December, and I started, let's see, I guess I started tracking this back in August. Look at that. We were at 154,000 in August. December, I updated it here. We were at 326. And it's interesting how Bitcoin was 13. And then sort of the end of December. It's interesting. I guess the highest print I did here for Bitcoin was there's 16,000 there. So I'm very pleased. I mean, the portfolio's been performing because Jesus Christ, we're banging out ridiculous trades. You know, just day after day after day after day, we just keep doubling the money. But what I'm really pleased to see is that, you know, even Bitcoin now, we're 25% off of the highs, and we're basically right up at all-time highs. I don't think we've had a higher print, have we? No, I don't see one here. Yeah. So basically, even though Bitcoin is 25% off the highs, we're still just sort of hovering right around all-time highs here. So I'm just, you know, I'm tickled pink. And it's so funny listening to like Julian. He's so stressed, right? And he's, oh my God, we're going to, what happens in Bitcoin? Hey, and I'm like, dude, Bitcoin's 25% off of its highs. And frankly speaking, I don't mean to be rude, guys, but we could very easily fall another 25%, which would be like half of what its all-time highs is. And we're sitting up here even, I actually like to do this. I calculate what a 30% haircut of this value is, just so mentally I can prepare myself if the market just shits the bed and we wake up tomorrow. What is a 30% correction? It stands for realistic correction zone. So in essence, I've already sort of set myself up with, okay, well, if the market just shits the bed, how bad's bad going to be? Yeah, and we're still sitting at, and that's US dollars. Technically in Canadian dollars, I'm a millionaire. Anyway, mind you, the Canadian dollar's done pretty well lately, hasn't it? So anyway, that's sort of your update for the daily brief. And also keep in mind too, we've got a the new site coming here basically in the next week or two. Liam. Now I'm thinking of Julian as my son. Oh, that's scary. Julian is just absolutely stress central right now. I have confidence in the team. Everybody is working extremely diligently. And, you know, I'll just update you guys on a daily basis. Yeah, dude, I've already won. Absolutely already won. And that's the problem with Julian is he just doesn't understand this, right? He doesn't understand that you know, even if Revenue Canada Taxman comes and says, we're going to shit on your head and take 50% of your money because we're socialists. fuck you. That's still 300-400 fucking grand. How much money did I start with here? Does anybody remember? So we've already won. We've already won. Play, and if anything, what do you think? Is this the definition of playing with the market's money? Yeah, a couple of Wendy's chickens. Yeah, Liam's laughing, eh? All right. Anyway, I'll quit with my rant right now. I'm babbling. Sorry, guys. I don't know. Is anybody getting any value out of today's presentation? I hope so. I never know what new to say on a daily basis to keep you guys amused. Okay, what else should we look at here? What time is it? Oh, Jesus, I've been talking for an hour here. Huh. Wow. Okay, so Christian, we talked a little bit about your idea. I thought it was perfectly fine. Great idea. And also, too, I think it's really important here, too, to acknowledge that we have to be extremely selective now in where we're going to spend our money. So don't just go willy-nilly, right? Because the worst part about this kind of market is, if people go and make a pile of money and they'll just go, oh, what the fuck? This looks good. I'll just go buy this here because, hey, I made a pile of money on this rally and here, awesome. Doesn't work that way. If you are interested in this name, well, you got to go through the exact same process of what we've been doing the whole damn time. And what a coincidence, 78.6, 88.6. Can you see the original market structure? You can literally see the next trades already setting themselves up. Can you guys see that? I just randomly picked this thing. And that's how traders make their money. So we have to be extremely selective here, guys. Don't just go willy-nilly throw your money at the market. We've given you Nubits, Bitcoin Gold, and ETC as three different ideas if you're interested in, which frankly speaking is quite a bit. I wouldn't be in a big hurry to spend a lot of money right now. That's just me. All right. Anything else we should talk about? Let's see if we can just quickly address any major questions here. Interesting thoughts regarding alt season 2008 expected March, June. Yeah, basically everything's marching along as usual. I think I answered that the other day. What's right? Oh, Jesus. LSELLOY on weekly. Let's see what he's got here. Lloyd's Bank. And actually, this makes a lot of sense. Can anybody tell me what was the biggest stock gain trade of the .com boom? Well, I don't know whether it's really the biggest, but it was one of the biggest trades. Anybody remember it? It had to do with a Saudi prince. Hey, very good, Gary. Excellent. Gary got the answer correct. Back in 1981, one of the junior prince, I don't know if you can call that or not. Anyone in the TRI icon order book Google link. Would prefer we not share that, Andrew. Brian shouldn't even be showing that on this video. So I'm already in trouble. What did I do wrong? Oh well. I didn't mean, if I did something wrong, I'm sorry. I didn't do it intentionally. All right, what's our story? And anybody watching this video later on, I'm just reading what Julian was writing in the lounge there. Sorry. Back in 1981, Ronald Reagan was just elected. It was double-digit inflation. Paul Volcker's war on inflation. The U.S. economy was in recession. I believe the Bush family brokered a deal with the Saudis to basically prop up the U.S. banks. And one of the junior Saudi princes took out a massive convertible debenture on Citibank, I think it was called at that point. Citigroup, Citibank, probably Citibank at that time. Anyway, it was a convertible debenture, so basically he was paid interest the whole way along. and he actually ended up selling the position, converting the debenture into common equity in 1998, I think. I think it was 98. Maybe it was 97. Can't remember. And at the time, he cleared just an absolutely obscene number. Nobody had ever seen this kind of number in stock transaction before. So I think it was something like $500 or $600 million in profit, which, you know, now, thanks to QE and helicopter money, we don't even understand the value of money. It's kind of meaningless. People talk billions and trillions now. But back then, that was actually a fair amount of money, and it was the biggest sort of publicly acknowledged stock transaction at the time, pure profit. Anyway, so fast forward to 2017. Does it make sense that we're in that same fear cycle apex as Citigroup in 1981? You see where I'm going with this? So very much like Citigroup and the U.S. banks, especially after the U.S. savings and loan crisis, we're in deep trouble. In the early 80s, I would argue quite a few of these European banks, you know, Italian banks, Portuguese banks, Spanish banks, to a certain degree, some of the London banks, they're kind of on the outs right now. Deutsche Bank, everybody worried about them, right? It would make sense that actually these would be probably trading at pretty, let's call it, low valuation basis. Does that make sense? Sure hope so. And if we pop on over to things like FinViz, we could probably find that, and I'm sure this thing's probably listed in the States, Lloyd's Banking Group, that's a pretty big stock. LLOY, it's got to be listed in the States somewhere. LYD, aha, there you go. Well, it's actually still pretty expensive, 16 times current earnings, but they're expecting them to come up to about 10 times earnings. That's not terrible. It's pretty expensive for a bank, though. Banks usually you want to see less than PE. You can see 4.0, not very liked on the street, carrying quite a bit of debt, right? Debt to equity, they're actually carrying more debt than they have equity. That's a bit disturbing. So I don't know. I think there's probably better places to be hunting. Interesting how insiders now own 81% of the company. Heck of a lot of stock out though, 17 billion. You know, each of your purchases is not going to be that much of the company. So fundamentally, I actually think we could probably find better banks to be investing in. But it wouldn't surprise me that what we see over the long-term basis is these banks are putting in their bottoms. You can see technically, can you see the W here, guys? Pretty well defined, eh? Right, now it's 2011, 2012, right? And you can see another little W right over here. Right, there's a monthly price chart. So my hunch is that this thing is starting to turn very much like the Citicorp started to turn in the early 80s. Yeah, exactly. Like this is a monthly price chart. We're not in any hurry here whatsoever. And you know, 10, 15 years from now at the top of the next greed cycle, these things will be all up at the top of their range. Trading wise, does it make sense, guys? We're kind of like in no man's land right now. Bottom end of the range is down here. Top of the range is up here. It wouldn't surprise me if this was a mountain man level over this range, 61.8. Notice that there's Joshua. Something jump out at you right here. Do you see how these concepts are universal? We're talking about a blue chip investment, Jamie Dimon. These banks are not frauds. This is good capitalism. There's just sound bull fucking shit. It's the same shit, just different pile. There's no difference. And the irony of it all is this is a goddamn monthly price chart. This thing moves as slow as molasses. And there's Jamie with his Demon Gap Hunter making fun of the bankers. Isn't that cool? Joshua, yeah, I don't think you realized how I have literally changed the way you look at the universe for the rest of your life. You've like literally had an epiphany here, and yeah, I don't even think you realize it. So cool. So, to answer your question, Raph, meh. I mean, it's there. It looks like it's in the middle of a range. Considering where we are on the long-term growth of value cycle, I think it makes perfect sense that we should be hunting for value in bank stocks. As well, too, it makes absolute perfect sense that everybody and their brother absolutely hates these places and these institutions. Bottom of the fear cycle, lack of confidence in the system. Who are you going to hate? The banks are the perfect people to be hated here. Right? Everybody loves Joey Diamond. Bitcoin's a fraud. Are you sure, sir? Or is maybe JP Morgan a fraud? I don't know. All right. I think we'll probably leave it at that for today, guys. It is past the top of the hour. I had fun talking with you guys today. Did anybody learn anything? Anybody have anything that they could add to their journals today? Sure, hope so. I think we talked about a bunch of stuff.
Lots of good stuff. Thanks, Brian.
On the Dow, what about the Dow? Interesting. I looked at weekly price charts going back to 07, 08. Tons of companies with weekly gaps as well. Yeah. Well, and also too, just that election that we had last November has just left some massive gaps on the higher time frame charts. So the cool part about it, guys, is you guys actually now know how this game works. Don't chase these markets. Let them be. I'm not going to touch that, Thomas. Let the market come back to you. I mean, I haven't talked too much about Bitcoin today because really I don't see anything really different going on here in the short term. So I actually went a little different direction here today. I hope you guys bared with me. We didn't really talk about Bitcoin today. But anyway, blah, 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 blah. I thought this was a good conversation to have about banks. And a good use of our time. We also talked quite a bit about, altcoins and sort of what the state of that market is. So I think that was a good use of time as well. Okay, I think we'll probably leave it at that for today, guys. It is past the top of the hour. Let's got to go and help Julian and address getting this site launched. And you guys get to play with all these fun tools we got in store for you. I can't wait. So awesome. All right, guys, everybody, have yourselves a great day. All the best. Talk to you later. Bye.